Hey everyone, Tankenstein here. If you guys don't know, the next major update for War Thunder is coming out very soon, and of course, we have a brand new devlog here for a vehicle that I really don't feel like a lot of people were expecting. I know I wasn't expecting this, but it is still very cool nonetheless. This is the FFA P-16 strike aircraft that will be coming to War Thunder in the German Air Force's tech tree. Now, this is a Swiss prototype that was developed in the late 1940s, early to mid 1950s, so it is kind of interesting, one, that it's rank 6, but two, that's going to Germany, but more or less this indicates that we are getting the Swiss Air Force's sub-tech tree and likely eventually the ground sub-tech tree as well. Now, this vehicle, again, is rank 6. It will have access to 15 days of premium time, 2,000 Golden Eagles, and if you pre-order, which I generally advise against, it will have access to the pre-order bonuses, the Slashing Pike title, and the Swiss Guard decal. Now, this vehicle will be $59.99 USD, so in my opinion, a bit expensive for what it is, and I'll go over that now. So, this is a rank 6 aircraft, right? Rank 6 tends to be where you start getting into supersonic. Now, don't get me wrong, this is a very fast aircraft. It is still subsonic, but among subsonic aircraft, this is about as quick as you can get before you start getting into supersonic or just transonic territory. In fact, you could probably call this thing transonic. Now, that being said, this thing has access apparently to AIM-9Bs. I couldn't find anywhere where it says that this would have had access in real life to AIM-9Bs. So I'm a little bit concerned that Gaijin put AIM-9Bs on this thing to justify giving it rank 6, even though that's not accurate to what it would have been in real life. And so, being that it is rank 6, it now, 1, no longer gets access to an air spawn, if I'm not mistaken, and 2, that allows Gaijin to bring the price up to $59.99 USD. So, who knows? You know, I mean, the access to AIM-9Bs is a little bit questionable, and being that this thing is subsonic, it probably doesn't have access to ballistics computers. It only has access to dumb weapons. It only has access to AIM-9Bs, which themselves are seen in the 8BR to 9BR range. I wouldn't be surprised if this thing was 9.0 BR at very most. Probably 8.7 BR, so I'm not entirely sure exactly how this thing is going to be, but hopefully it can be pretty damn decent. Otherwise, again, it is a strike aircraft. It will apparently be fairly maneuverable at low speed, so I'm pretty interested to see that, and apparently also this is a fairly small aircraft. Now, there are two different variants of this, at least insofar as the thrust is concerned from its engine. Mark 1 had about 4,000 kilograms of thrust, whereas the Mark 2 had around 5,000 kilograms of thrust, and unfortunately, at least as of right now, the devlog does not specify how much thrust this is going to get. I'm assuming it's going to be the Mark 1, but hopefully we are going to get the Mark 2. Now, otherwise, this does have access to, again, AIM-9B missiles, just 2 of them, at least for what I'm seeing here in the pictures, and it will also have access to 2 30mm cannons, same ones that you see on the Sagittario 2 and Ariat, and you'll also be able to get 4 hard points that have up to 2,000 pound bombs, napalm bombs, and also there will be an under fuselage tray that can carry up to 48 Sura rockets or 44 Sneb rockets, which is really cool. So I'm actually really excited for that in particular, because if you've ever flown some of the 8.3 or 8.7 BR French aircraft around that BR that have that rocket tray, it acts like a rocket shotgun, and it fires like 5 rockets at a time. It is so incredibly fun and actually incredibly effective when it comes to destroying ground targets. I mean, it is ridiculously powerful. So if this vehicle has a version of that, I am all for it. But otherwise, that's about it. You know, let me know in the comments below if you guys know anything about that AIM-9B Sidewinder situation. Again, it only has 2 of them, so they're not going to be all that impressive, but it does still add a capability that Gaijin would probably see fitting to actually increase its BR just slightly, and thus also its rank, which would also increase its premium price. So let me know in the comments below if you know anything about this thing having or not having AIM-9Bs in real life, but again, I couldn't find anything. Now, one final note here, this is actually a really cool vehicle because War Thunder players created it. This is a War Thunder player created model. That's right. So the players Nov A29R and Reg 25 Russ actually created this thing between the aircraft model and the cockpit model. So really, really cool. I mean, that is awesome in and of itself. I'm actually really stoked to fly this plane just because of that, because oftentimes, and I'm not saying that the devs are not dedicated and don't have a passion, but there's just something really cool about having players make this aircraft, and part of the revenue for this aircraft will go to them. So that's just really, really awesome in my opinion. And quite honestly, this thing looks beautiful. So I'm just beyond stoked to actually fly this thing. Again, questionable BR maybe, I'm not entirely sure, but it looks really, really fun. And you can expect a review from me probably within about a week or two of it being released. But with that said, thanks so much for watching. Please consider liking, commenting, subscribing. But either way, thanks again. See you all on the other side. Take care, everyone.